Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion. A book tag. This is a Haunted Mansion book tag. Let's jump in. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I have a very special video. I'm super proud about this video. It's been in the works. So let me start from the beginning. I love the Haunted Mansion. I am not a Disney, I'm not somebody that is like, wee Disney, I'm like, wee all the time. But the Haunted Mansion, clearly, the Haunted Mansion is my favorite. I love it. As a spooky girl, I feel like you have to love the Haunted Mansion. So I decided, after seeing the new Haunted Mansion movie, which if you haven't seen it, go see it. I have some thoughts. If you guys have some thoughts, share them down below. No spoilers, unless you put a big thing that says spoilers, but I have some thoughts. I think I've got some vlogs coming up where I mention about it, but I did recently go see the Haunted Mansion movie, and it got me thinking about how can we turn this into a book tag. So I started thinking about the different themes about Haunted Mansion, the classics that have to do with Haunted Mansion, and I have come up with the Haunted Mansion book tag. Now, I did go and I tried to see if somebody else maybe did it, or if there was something out there that I could follow. And there was nothing. Guys, there was nothing. I looked at blogs, I looked at videos, I tried so hard to search and I couldn't find anything. So if I am not the first person to do this, let me know down below. But these prompts all came from my head and I thought really hard about them. Well, let's talk about the prompts. I have graciously, for you guys, come up with 7 prompts that have to do with the Haunted Mansion. Now, I did make like a template because I know some of you guys maybe might like to have a little template. I will have that on my Instagram for you. My Instagram is here. You can go ahead and follow me there and get the template for it, but I did create that myself. So, there are 7 questions. They are a book that takes place in a mansion, a book that has purple on the cover, a book with spirits or ghosts, a book that has either a medium in it or has a seance scene in it, a book that takes place at a carnival or an attraction, something that has a ride in it, a book that deals with grief or loss, and a book that has a character that wears a top hat or has something to do with a hat. Those are the prompts. Let's get into it. Here we go. So the first prompt is called Haunted Mansion, and this is a book that takes place in a mansion. For this, I chose book 2 in a cozy mystery series, and that is Lemonade and Lies by Agatha Frost. Now, in this series, we follow an amateur sleuth. Her name is Julia, and she lives in a small English town. And in this specific book, we find that there is a murder in a mansion that happens to be her father and her stepmother's mansion. And there's this whole wild ride of whodunit. There's a lot of suspects and a lot of twists and turns in this book. But the murder happens because somebody is thrown out the top window of a mansion. It's a great series if you guys like cozy mysteries. I talk a lot about cozy mysteries on this channel, and this is kind of a recent series that I've started reading, and I love it. So it is the Paradale Cafe Cozy Mystery series, again by Agatha Frost. It's fantastic. So that is my pick for the Haunted Mansion prompt. The next one is Purple Wallpaper, and this is a book that has purple on the cover, and for this I chose Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Bayron. This is a retelling of Cinderella, and oh my goodness, it really takes the tale of Cinderella and flips it. So we follow our main character, and she lives in a town where they have taken the tale of Cinderella and they literally live word by word of the tale of Cinderella. Every year there is this ball, and every girl in the town has to go to this ball, and suitors can choose them. But our main character has decided that she doesn't want to live that way, and she starts kind of uprising against the crown and what is going on in the town, and she is finding that there is a lot of spooky, weird, just not right things going on, and she finds out what really happened to Cinderella and what the actual tale is. So a great one if you're looking for a retelling. I borrowed that one from my library, and I am so glad I did. Next on the list is 999 Ghosts, but there's always room for one more. And that prompt is a book that has ghosts or spirits in that. And for this, I have chosen City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. This is actually a children's book, and I gotta tell you, for a children's book, this was quite spooky. But as a spooky girl, I feel like this is something I would want to read as a child. So we follow our main character, Cass, and Cass has this special ability because when she was younger, she drowned and she died for a little bit. Ever since then, she's been able to see spirits. She even says that her best friend is a ghost, and he is. She goes to different towns with her parents to look for hauntings because her parents star in their own ghost hunting series. So in this one, she kind of learns more about the veil, that short distance between life and death, and some spooky things start to happen. Like I said, this is a children's book, but it's quite spooky. So I think there's 3, maybe 4 in the series, but this is the first one, and it takes place in Edinburgh, which is a place I've always wanted to visit due to its spookiness. And yeah, this is my choice for Ghosts and Spirits. Next, we have Madame Leota, Call in the Spirits. And for this prompt, we need a book that either has a seance in it or has a medium, something along the lines. And I'm telling you, this was the first prompt I thought of because I instantly thought of this book. The London Seance Society by Sarah Penner. If you have never read Sarah Penner before, please read Sarah Penner. This is her second book. Her first book is The Lost Apothecary. We're not going to talk about that book right now. We're talking about this. So this is the London Seance Society. We follow Lena, and Lena's sister has been murdered, and Lena wants to know what happened. So she kind of dives deep into the world of mediums and seances because she knew that's what her sister was getting into. So she contacts Vaudeline, who is a famous medium who her sister actually studied underneath, and Lena has decided that she wants to also study under Vaudeline. So Lena and Vaudeline actually visit the London Seance Society, which is a bunch of gentlemen who claim to be mediums. And they have asked Vaudeline to try to figure out the murder of... They're trying to find out the reason behind the death of Mr. Volcom, who used to run the Seance Society. So Vaudeline has been recruited to hold a seance and try to figure out why Mr. Volcom was killed, and also why Lena's sister got killed as well. So it's a wild ride, and I loved this book. This cover is beautiful as well, and yeah, if you want seances and mediums, it's all right here. And it takes place in Victorian London, so absolutely fantastic. Next is Doom Buggy, a book that takes place at a carnival or has some type of ride in it. And this one, I'm gonna confess, I picked a book that I haven't quite read yet. I picked a book that I haven't read yet, but it is one that I instantly thought of when I thought of carnivals and rides, and I'm definitely putting it in the TBR basket. And that is Tastes Like Candy by Ivy Tholen. So I'm pretty sure this is an independent author, which is really cool. And I'm just going to read the back to you guys really quickly, because you're going to be like, oh my goodness. It definitely needs to go in the TBR basket. Everyone at Pritchett High wants an invitation to the senior scavenge. Okay. In 2020, Violet Warren and her friends are the lucky ones. 8 girls will break into the Poison Apple Carnival after hours for a scavenger hunt. Then, at sunrise, they'll gather for a celebration in honor of their upcoming senior year. But someone else has another game planned. Minutes after the girls sneak into the carnival, a madman in a rubber mask begins slashing his way through the group, and Violet quickly realizes his motives are personal. As she watches her friends die in a series of increasingly bizarre attacks, she must fight to survive while trying to answer the question, what could she have done to earn a fast pass for a roller coaster ride straight to hell? So, we're going to add this to the TBR. It's one I've wanted to read, and it's pretty much the only one I could think of that really takes place with rides and carnivals and how the fast passes. Hello. We have Master Gracey next, and this is a book prompt that has to deal with grief. If you've seen the movie, it deals a lot with grief, topics of grief. A trigger warning: if you can't deal with grief, I would suggest wait. Don't see it in the theaters. It's very sad. Mr. Gracey, he's obviously deals with a lot of grief, and for this I have chosen The Saturday Night Ghost Club by Craig Davidson. You look at this book and you think it's going to be very spooky, and it is. But at the end of it, this may be a spoiler, but I don't know how to explain it other than kind of spoiling it. So this takes place in 1980 in Niagara Falls, which is maybe an hour and a half away from where I live. So some of the scenes I kind of knew about. We follow Jake, and Jake idolizes his Uncle Calvin. His Uncle Calvin is a little bit eccentric. He is very much into the spirits, and he's into occult artifacts. He owns a shop that has a bunch of these occult artifacts. So one summer, Jake and his friends go on these different adventures with his Uncle Calvin, and they call it the Saturday Night Ghost Club. So his Uncle Calvin kind of takes him to these different places and tells these different ghost stories about him, and it's very creepy. And in the end, you find out the reasoning why he takes them to these places, and it's sad. It's sad. Get ready for a tearjerker. I cried at the end. But yeah, if you want something spooky, but at the end you just, I don't know, you're looking to have your heart torn out and you cry. This is it. This is it. And yeah, I really liked it. Alright, last on the list is the Hatbox Ghost. We couldn't leave the Hatbox Ghost out, right? So for this one, you just want to find a main character that wears maybe a top hat, or I got a little creative with this one because I chose Alice by Christina Henry. This is an Alice in Wonderland retelling. And one of the characters in this book, his name is Hatter. If you are new to this channel, I am an Alice in Wonderland freak, okay? More than the Haunted Mansion. This is such a good retelling. It is fantastic. It is gritty, it is dark, it deals with the mob bosses. So we follow Alice, and we find her in an insane asylum, and there is this fire in the insane asylum, and she and Hatter, who's also in this insane asylum, escape together. Alice was in there because there was something that happened in her past, and she's just getting little kind of pictures in her brain about what's going on. And when her and Hatter escape, they go into the old city where the mob bosses lay. So your caterpillar, your white rabbit, they are all mob bosses. If you think this is the like fluffy Disney tale, this is not it. It is bloody, it is gory, it is dark, it is just, it is wild. It is not for the faint of heart. So this is what I chose for the Hatbox Ghost. And I feel like Hatter in here and the Hatbox Ghost, I feel they're both equally psychotic. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. So those are my choices for the Haunted Mansion book tag. What would you guys choose for your prompts? Let me know down below. If you create your own video, I would love to see it. Tag me in it so I can see your choices. If you haven't already, please subscribe, become a member of this beautiful bookish family. Share this with somebody that could put together their own list of books for these prompts. Make sure you hit your post notifications so you're notified every time I upload a video. And with that, I hope you guys have an awesome spooky season. Fall is just around the corner. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye! Alright. It's time to eat some.